Here we go.
And then one thing about Christians, what I want you to understand is that y'all done took some of the books out the Bible at the 1611 Bible, which is the Apocrypha. There's books that are missing, and y'all took them out. I'm like, what are you doing? Because this is the books that explain who Jesus was, and that Jesus had a wife, he had kids. These are books that are missing. Because right now,
hold on, real quick. We got a question for the audience that I want to follow. We're going to stay in the books, but we got a question real quick.
Go ahead.
And let me ask you a question, brother, because I know that
who am I speaking with?
You speaking with Brother Curtis?
Brother Curtis, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing
God
fine.
Bless you, man.
Listen, you said something that kind of made me think. You asked Bishop where was Moses, who you say buried?
I said Moses. See, Moses is supposed to have to learn all the ways in Egypt.
Okay, but you asked about a burial and said what Jesus buried, what this person buried.
Well, you can't find no grave.
I know,
that's
but can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Where is your 100 great-great-grandmama, granddaddy, grandfather, uncle, and auntie buried at? Where they at?
Yeah, they buried under the documentation that's already been documented at the city.
Where they?
So what
I
I'm
ain't talking about that documentation.
Hold on.
I know. But
other
where?
than the Bible.
No.
In the Bible itself,
I said,
literature.
where is they buried? No.
He said,
where are they buried at though? Where they at?
What I'm saying,
I ain't talking about in no documentation.
No.
You done did your history on all the other folks. You done did your history on religion. I'm trying to find out why you ain't did your history on your family.
I did.
Where they at? In Oak Cliff, New York, New Jersey, they in China. Where they buried at? That's all I'm asking. Because if you do all the talking, you got to be right. So I want to ask you a question now. Where they buried at?
I go back as the history as my ancestors teach me.
He not asking the question.
And I know
where they buried at. I don't want to hear all that.
And what
if they in New Jersey,
we go back,
New England, Miami, where they buried at?
We go back.
Let him answer.
We go back our way as a part of the Atlantic slave trade.
Okay.
The reason why you speaking English right now because your very culture
if they in
was taken
Africa
from you. Your language was taken from you.
If they in Africa.
Are you an Englishman?
Where they at?
I guess what he's saying is
that's the language you're speaking.
Where they at?
So what I'm saying
they could be in the Atlantic. They could be. They could be.
They could be.
We done did the history though. So
what?
We don't know what Jesus never buried.
So what he's saying is that question should be stricken as far as where do bones lie.
Yes.
That should not be in dialect because that cannot technically be proven.
You deep.
Can I say something? It can't be proven just throughout because we didn't keep those records literally. Which is going to take me to the books, the Bible. We're going to talk about it.
Okay.
When we talked about religion, you said something very particular, Dooney, where you said religion starts from the doctrines. And Pastor Eli, you stated that religion, you found it wasn't in no book. You found it while in prison. So that means something else in religion happened to you. Like you said, it could be a religion of gambling. Mm-hmm. But as Dooney said, no, religion has to have a doctrine that you have to kind of be taught something through a book that has been passed down.
Can I say something?
Please, go ahead.
I'm glad you said. And Dooney, let's do this. Because I know that you over talk and you don't allow nobody to get in. Maybe we're gonna have to put a clock on here.
I'm trying to ring it in.
He was able to control himself, so we're gonna have to put a little time in. I see now. But let me share this with you, my brother. When you're talking about religion, when you're talking about belief, let me get back to the mindset. I like to answer a question, then keep going on. Question. Everything you saying is fables. It's not facts. These your reading, research, these your ideas. When you talk about no bones, when you talk about the Egyptians, I can question you by saying, was you there? And you was not there. So you brought the same question to me as the answer that you got, like you was there. So you asked me, was I there when Jesus was on the cross and when they crucified him? I wasn't there. So let's get to the facts. Everything that I learned through faith. Everything, the Bible said, without faith, it's impossible to please God. Now, you can read about Jesus and you can experience about God. Then you say, I'm part of the Protestant church. You don't know what I'm a part of. You assume. There's a lot of things that's in the Protestant church that I don't agree with. I don't agree with there's more than one God. I believe there's only one God. I don't believe in the Trinitarian doctrine. I know where it came from through Constantine. I did all that study, and I know it came from Catholicism, and the Protestant church come from that. So I did a lot of research. But I come to find out one of the most important things is not based on how much knowledge you have, not based on your religion. It's not based on if you believe in Judaism and Hinduism. I look at religion with like insurance policy. You got two different religions that's close that's out there now. Judaism, and you got Islam. Islam's under the law, under the Judaism teaching, under Mosaic law, the 10 Commandments. All the major religions have the 10 Commandments. And so when you're dealing with Islam and when you're dealing with Judaism, then you have to weigh out the difference. Why do I choose to go through Christ? Why is it that I believe in Mary and how Jesus was born? Why do I believe that Jesus was the Son of God and we have to go through him to get to the Father? First of all, you got two types of insurance. You have liability and you got full cover. The reason why when I tried Islam, when I tried Judaism, I read all those things, I realized something about me that I didn't like about myself. I realized I got some issues. I got sin issues. When I try to do right, I do the very thing I say I don't want to do. And we all guilty of, we said we wasn't going to cuss no more. We cussed. We said we wasn't going to get high. We wasn't going to go to the club. We wasn't going to fight this girl. We wasn't going to do it. And we find ourselves doing the very thing that we say we don't want to do. So I realized I got some issues. So since I have some issues, I chose to realize that I got a problem. So when you say that you hit the main three religions and you talked about Judaism, you talk about Islam, they under the law. So if you gonna take a liability risk in your faith, that's on you, because if you choose to keep the law, then therefore apply by law. I'm gonna ask you a question, I'm gonna keep going. Are you under the law? Of any law? I don't care if it's Judaism, Muslim, or you under the law, Christianity. Do you believe that you govern yourself under the law?
I'm a high priest in the order of the mysteries.
Do you go by the book, any book you live your life by?
I respect our religion, but I don't subscribe to neither.
Okay. You don't have no rules. You don't have no rules.
I respect our religion.
No. And we ain't talking about religion. I'm saying whatever you believe, do you have any rule?
Let him explain.
You gotta let me explain. I respect our religions, and there's truths in the Bible that you can apply to your life to help navigate you through life. There's truths in the Quran and there's truths in the Torah.
Okay.
But them scriptures and those texts and scrolls themselves are not true.
Okay.
They've been tampered with.
Okay.
And so what I'm saying is there's principles you can take out, which you call the physics. The physics of
I'm talking
law,
about the Ten
physics of
Commandments.
spirituality.
You
know what I'm saying?
Are you governed under any kind of law as in, I'm gonna get to that, any kind of law as how you live, what you shouldn't do? Are you under any of those?
The 10 Commandments you just brought up, the 10 Commandments, 10 of those came from the 42
I don't care where they came from.
Well, hold on, I'm finna explain to you. So I honor the 42 admonitions of Ma'at. It was not commandments, they was admonitions.
Okay, whatever you name.
You know what I'm saying?
I want to get in word
Moses supposed to have found 10 of them, right?
Do you believe
that? But Moses, okay, let's go back. Let's go back to this. Okay, because you said the law. The law is not law, it's admonition. It's to keep order. Anything that doesn't have order is chaos or confusion. And even the text says, the Bible says that the devil is the author of confusion. So anything that does not have order is called chaos. So the admonitions of Ma'at was to keep order in the
Can I say this?
civilization or society.
I understand it. I understand it.
And
do
so,
you apply by, can I talk English? I don't want to go Hebrew. I want to go Aramaic. I don't want to go Chinese either. I just want to ask you this.
Sure.
Because I'm from South Dallas, Bonton, Texas. Watch this out.
You know I'm from Cliff.
Okay, I'm from the sunny side. Watch this out.
Yeah, I know I'm from way everywhere.
Okay, now listen to me.
So we family.
You can't.
What are you talking about?
You can't help me. You can't help me being too deep. That'll put me to sleep. Watch this out.
We keep up.
Those little 10 commandments, whatever you name it, let's don't rename them. Let's don't try to give me no education.
Well, I got to give you the facts.
Well, no. Let's do it from like a 5-year-old kid who's a blank slate.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got to talk to the young man who's who's
the 10 Commandments. Do you apply?
Well, they shouldn't be watching this, but
they should.
Do you apply by? Do you apply by?
Do I abide by the 10 Commandments?
Do you try to?
It was taught me there's commandments in the 10 Commandments for it's like thou shalt not kill. You know, I have not killed today. So no, I'm not going trying to kill nobody because I have to live by the laws of spirituality.
The one you keeping.
Well, I think the judgment.
So spirituality have laws? You say you have to.
Spiritual physics.
Let me say what you just said. Then you can answer the question, man. You sound like Kamala Harris. Give me a minute.
He just said Kamala Harris.
No, we ain't doing it. I just said who he sound like.
Mix it out.
Listen, let me ask you a question. You said you have to live by the laws of spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
Did you not say that?
Yeah, you have to live by the laws of spirituality.
You saying people do or you do personally?
When you now can I answer?
Yeah.
When you connect spirituality with the doctrine. Okay, then you're looking for divinity to keep you in order.
I'm saying
people need religion.
Okay,
religion
so you don't
keeps
have to
you
live
in
by
order.
then. So so what the statement you made is
what
untrue.
is living right? Living right is
The
by the laws
statement you
and
made-
commandments that are put in place by
The
man.
statement you
to put
made.
structure in order of society.
Sir.
That's
Yeah, no, what I got from it is that there is a religion that you honor, but you more so live in the spirituality.
I live by the principles that are lies in the Torah, that lies in the Quran, that lies in the principle. There's many principles. You can read Proverbs.
Come and give me one.
All kind of principles.
I know what principle.
One is thou shalt not kill. That's what Moses
we can't double team. We can't double team.
Moses understood that before he went to Mount Sinai. At Mount Sinai, he's supposed to got 10 commandments,
let me say something. Let me tell you what this brother here doing.
Go ahead.
I see brothers like this. They never go straight down the street.
Because it's not about me.
I know.
He's well read. He's well read.
They never go down the street. They always have a turn. But watch this here. I was trying to get to this. If he don't govern himself by no book, he don't believe in no religion, even if he don't even set a understanding, because if he trying to reach somebody, because being in this life that we supposed to live, supposed to be a light and salt. So if he don't have no direction, the Bible said a man that led by his own spirit is a fool. So I think we're dealing with some foolish stuff right now.
Well, no. I'll say this. Let me set the precedent of this, because we're gonna pivot, but I'm gonna set the precedent of this conversation. And these are just facts. Like you said, we're gonna go off facts. So
I like this.
There's 8.6 billion people in the world. The number one religion is Christianity, 2.4 billion. Islam at 1.9 billion. And it actually goes to Hinduism at 1.2. Buddhism at 0.5, and then Judaism is the last 5. A man who goes to prison, he's able to possibly maybe go through different religions while he's there. This is the man we're talking to. Like you said, there are rules, but can those rules be bent and broken based on someone else teaching you? So I want to have a conversation from man entering prison. He sees 5 top religions. He gets to pick and choose where he want to go. And mind you, he don't have to make no real decision just off the rip. He get to try to each of them out. And this is where I want to kind of have the conversation.
You know what?
Can I answer that?
Let me answer that real quick, because you're going to go long. You like to get in the car and do all the driving.
Pastor, like, go.
Let me get in this Escalade a little bit. Let me share something with y'all. I'll just go by experience. That's why I said that's where I was going. When I was in prison, you only have those religions. You have Satanism too. They have a Satan book. There's all kind of teaching. In every religion, somebody didn't add or took away in the foundation where God set for man. But Solomon is a man of wisdom and knowledge. King Solomon. He said there's many books. He said, let's come to the whole conclusion of man is to fear God and keep his commandments. The Bible also said, if a man cannot contain his tongue, his religion is in vain. He just cussed before we even got started. Now watch this. Watch this. So,
but what is go.
Okay. And not just saying curse as in when you cuss somebody out, B's and H's. Curse can also, when you say go to hell, I hate, get out of here. You can curse people in a different way.
Thank you.
But we do know that if you can't contain your tongue, anything that sound like the world, be not conformed to the world. But I see where he come from. He said, who made these rules? What man say what is right and wrong. So what is right and wrong to you? Because you say it's wrong, don't make it wrong. Because you said right, don't make it right. But God is so smarter than man. He said, I'm going to write my law on all man's heart. Let me show you, he knows the truth. If I go in there and go in his pocket, he got a little money, just take it, just say it's mine. He gonna say, hey man, what you doing? He gonna defend himself. I'm gonna say, man, I feel like it's right. I can get your money out your pocket. That's covenant. If he have a woman, his wife, that he married to right now, if I go in there and say, little mama, he might have 10. But I'm talking about the one he do have.
Yeah, I do believe in poly.
Let's get to that. He got the woman that he got now. If I decide, hey man, let me get on little mama. I'm saying, little mama, he gonna rise up. Hey man, that's my woman. What you doing? That's covenant's wife. I could be trying to commit adultery. So if I go and try to kill something that he loved, thou should not kill. If I don't, he sees somebody that's in need, he give, he help. So the law is already in you. Here's the problem with all that. Anytime you want a system that benefit your flesh, you look for excuses or you look for religion. I didn't go to God by reading. I didn't go to him because I was in prison. Somebody taught me this and that. I thought the white man wrote the Bible. King James was a homosexual. I heard all of it. But some people have to experience God. Some people have to go through some things to experience God. I experienced God. So when I listen to this brother and I understand the way he going, and the reason why I asked him when he was going to Potter House, because I kind of seen him make a couple statements before. I said, this nigga wanna went crazy. I'm just saying. And so, but looking at him and understanding where he come from, I respect. But to me, how I get to God, I could never change a man's thought, how he feel. But I do know a lot of people have turned away from God because though they say they represent God, they look like the world, talk like the world, lust like the world. If I had a religion where I could have 10 women, man, I would say, God, man, you good. I can have me a boo and a hoop. So if I can have a religion where I can have all the women, I can do all the cussing, I can do all the lusting, I really ain't transformed. I really ain't changed. There's no similar of power that's invading my life. I'm just like the world. I ain't no different. There's ought to be a set apart from light and darkness. You ought to know the difference. When it's dark in the room, it's dark. When light on, you know the difference. You can't come in and be in a dark room and say it's light. So when you say you serve a God, I don't based on your education. It's not based on how much knowledge you have. It's based on how you treat your brother that's next to you. And I believe that if God is who he say he is, then you just don't represent him with your mouth. Your action got to say something because everybody's saying a whole lot of stuff. But if your action don't bring life to the person that's around you or light, then your religion's in vain. How can your religion help me?
So I'm gonna let you respond to that exact thing. But before we do it, Pastor Eli, real quick, can you explain you finding God? What was God to you beforehand, and then after you experienced God?
Well, I didn't believe. Let me tell you something. I didn't believe in God. I'm gonna be honest. Can I just be real?
Yeah. I want to get the story because I'm gonna take the duty the same way.
Let me be real with you. When I was in prison, man, be honest. I ain't believe in God. I'm from South Dallas. I grew up and we did without. We stayed with everybody. Stayed all of them South. I'm known. I'm very known in Dallas. Me and Pastor Curtis, Ray Charles. I'm Little Eli. I talk about the drug dealer and sold drug, robbed people. I did a lot of wrong. So when I was in prison, I was trying to find my way. I was running around, knocking folks out, thinking this is my survival, this is my religion. And I said, this is how I'm gonna survive in prison. So one time when I was in prison, this is my story. I didn't believe in God. I got a visit from my mama. She came down there to see me. She said, hey, baby. I said, hey, mama. She said, I love you. I said, I love you too. She said, but I ain't gonna be here when you come home. I said, what do you mean you're not gonna be here when you come home? So she went to tell me, but let me apologize. Mom would tell me, I apologize that y'all grew up in South Dallas because I experienced a lot coming up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? I found my sister in the attic at 13, raped by a man. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm 11 years old, I had to take her home and carry her home. And, my mama sent her to the store. She never came back. So when I went look for her, I found her. So then I came up in the home where, my daddy wasn't there. So, we went through a lot as children, kids, you know what I'm saying? And so it led me to the streets, led me into robbing, led me selling dope in the juvenile system when I was 11 years old. So I wanted to help my mama. So I decided to get in the streets, end up, you got a bully in the hood, you know what I'm saying? I shot him 6 times, you know what I'm saying? So they gave me 40 years. So in the process of me doing time, I did 15 years, supposed to got out in 27. So anyway, my mama came to visit. She said, I'm not gonna be home when you get here. And I said, what you mean? She said, but I need you to promise me something. I said, promise you what, mama? She said, promise you gonna give your life to God. And I didn't know what that means. I said, what you mean give your life to God? I thought I already belonged to God. She said, no, I need you to give your life to God. And she said, promise, mama, you gonna get out of prison. I said, Mama, I got 40 years. She said, I know. God can do anything. Then she said, promise, Mama, you going to take care of your son. I said, yes, ma'am. And so she said, but I got to tell you something. I said, what's that? She said, I'm not going to be here when you come home. So I said, what you mean? She said, I got cancer. So I said, well, Mama, if God is real, like y'all say, if he's who he say, promise me, Mama, if he don't take you from me, I live for him. She said, baby, it don't work that way. I said, well, then, Mom, why should I call on him if he can't save you from me? So that was my knowledge. That's where I was at. And so anyway, my mama, nobody wouldn't bring her. See, my mama unplugged herself from the hospital, drove to Michael unit in a gown with no ID, none of that. In the warden letter in the prison, they don't do that without ID. They just don't let you in. But I don't know what my mama told them. So she there praying with me. I gave my life to God. My mama died the next day. And so I didn't believe in God. So I decided that since God took my mama, I'm gonna let everybody hurt like I hurt. You know what I'm saying? And so I ended up going to segregation. They put me in lockdown because they heard I was gonna act up. But anyway, make a long story short, I had to come to God the hard way. And so when I was there in prison, Satan told me, take your life. You have nothing to live for. Then one day I was in my cell. My mama didn't know she was going to make it to see me. She wrote a letter. She said, I love you. Forgive mama for how y'all growed up. And she said, God showed me you're going to be a preacher one day. And I said, Mama, how you going to make me a preacher? I got goals and down with my mind, all the stuff that I did. And so when I listened to Dooney, when he said, how do you know it's a God? I'm going to tell y'all, I didn't know God through religion. I didn't know him through Islam. I had to lose some of my love. And so, but what messed me up, I saw the way my mama loved me. And I didn't understand that. And so that bothered me. And I'm like, Mama, I done robbed people. I done killed folk. I done shot people. I done did a lot of wrong. You think God can save a person like me? She said, baby, God showed me that he's going to save you one day. And so one of my guilt,
Take time, bitch.
Take time. Talk to him.
Take time.
excuse me.
Take it. Take it. Take it.
Excuse me.
No,
But
take
I
it.
love my mama.
No, take it.
So I didn't learn it. I didn't learn it because somebody told me. I learned through religion. But I didn't understand why my mama loved me so much. Out of all the stuff I did. But she believed in me. And she said, baby, God gonna save you. I said, Mom, if God is real, tell him don't take you from me. I need you. I don't help nobody. All my friends turned their back on me. When I was a drug dealer, everybody said I was a man when I was going in the club, but I'm in this prison. And I need you. I need you because I don't know religion. I hear about the church stuff. I don't know what's real to me is now. Not what I heard. I can't go off of Moses. I can't go off what they told me, but I can go through experience. That's why I'm telling him, I don't know how you came to God because I don't know how this ex-drug dealer who I used to be and how I should rob people and sell them. I don't know why I don't have that in my heart no more. So when I was in that cell, I said that God didn't know my mama. I didn't know him by Yahweh. I didn't know him by Jesus. I said that God didn't know my mama. Give me a peace of mind because if you don't give me a peace of mind in this prison, I'm gonna be with a man. If you don't give me a peace of mind, I'm gonna die in this place. And I don't want to die in this place. And I said, just give me a peace of mind. I'm not asking you to get me out of prison. I'm not trying to be popular. I'm not trying to be famous. But if you can give me a peace of mind. And when I got on my knees, I heard God say to me, choose this day who you're gonna serve. And that's when I got on my knees in that cell. I said, God, if you give me a peace of mind, I'll get out of I'll serve you. I ain't asking you to get me out. So I wrote a lady and I told her my story. I said, I robbed people. I did a lot of stuff that they didn't get caught for. People can tell you all over Dallas. It ain't too much that's going on in the prison system. This ain't something you just heard. That's why I be laughing at these guys that be coming up here. They know me. People know what I did in prison. Everybody in Dallas know. They know who Eli is. You can ask every last one. They knew how I lived in prison. And so when I did get saved, people thought I was crazy because I wasn't fighting no more. I wasn't starting riots no more. I'm the only guy in history. You can be a Crip, you can be a Blood, you can be in Dublin, If I say let them out the game, they let them out. That's not heard of. I'm the only one who can do that in the prison system. So when I was in there, I was confined into the system. And my mama loved me so much that she came off her deathbed to see this little no good dude and told me about Jesus. So I didn't experience him like everybody else. So I changed my life. I gave my life to God. And ever since then, that's how I came to God. I don't knock folks how they come to God. I experienced God. I wrote a letter, told her my story. I supposed to got out in 2027. Her name is Johnson. She got me out of prison 6 months later after I did 15 years. And that's how I got out of prison. So when I hear people's story, I said, man, you looking at grace. You looking at mercy. So when the life I live, I don't fear what goes on in my life. Every time you see my face, every time I get in the mirror, I remember those days I stayed in that cell. I remember those days I thought I was going to die in prison. I'm looking at grace. So I experienced God, and God revealed himself through power. There was a man in the Bible said, your God can do this. My God answered by fire. My God answered by fire. Look at me. I'm free. I ain't snitched on nobody. I ain't told it on nobody. But God got me out. So when I talk to brothers, when I talk to people on the street, when I see people taking God's people and use it for their own fame and profit lying to them, getting their money, I don't believe in that. So when he say, what kind of preacher? I'm not the preacher that you see most days on these TV. I don't believe in that. God been too good to me. Yeah. I have too much to lose to play games. So I'm just a simple person that's trusting the word. The word got me out. The Lord got me out of that place. Man couldn't do it, but the Lord did.
And I would say this, and thank you for that moment, because I don't like to make it personal, but I lost my mom same kind of way, and that is a personal story. And it's a difference when you actually give your life up to God. When your life came to an end, in the moment that He says, "I'm gonna take it from here," you kind of give it to Him.